Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, golden, golden things.
Hi there, welcome back to another episode of Life with Z. Excited to spend some time with you today. We have family coming into town this weekend to visit. So tonight we have a lot of things we want to get done. We're going to do a whole house clean, focusing especially on the kitchen and the bathrooms, get those spaces refreshed and ready for our guests. Today when I came home from work, Greg surprised me by building a second garden bed for the backyard. So we have that garden bed built, and he already filled it with dirt, so we'll get our last few plant babies situated in their new home. So excited to get these few things done, and let's get started. All right, here is our garden bed situation. Greg built this extra garden bed for me as a surprise and filled it with dirt so we can space out the plant babies a little bit better and get them situated. Hi you guys, I'm so excited to spend some time with you today. We are transplanting our little plant babies into their new home. We have this garden bed set up out here, and I just really wanted to get these plants a little bit more spaced out. So we are putting the plants in their new spots so they'll have more room to grow. Unfortunately, not all of my little seedlings that I had from inside took as well as I had hoped, but next year I think I will just go ahead and get all my seeds started in the garden bed from the get-go. But here we are, just doing our best and giving our plant babies a new home. Alright, here is our current situation. This garden bed is mostly flowers, and then over here we put all of our herbs and vegetables and got them a little more spaced out. We also got some of the plants from the indoor garden box out here so that they can thrive. So look at the tomatoes, they're doing so good. We got lettuce. This one was growing outside and this one was growing inside, so we'll see which does better. We've got our cilantro, rosemary, basil is there, super tiny, onion doing good, and then over here this is just some overflow tomato sprouts from inside, a few extra zinnias. Check out the cosmos, absolutely thriving. Lavender, nothing to really show for it yet. Chamomile, we got one little sprout from inside. Daisy, a few little babies. And then the zinnias are doing good. So here is our little outdoor garden setup with our two garden beds. So thankfully the kitchen is clean. We just really need to do more of a deep clean on things like the stove. I want to give the inside of the oven a quick wipe down. We'll clean the microwave, the refrigerator, and the dishwasher. So this is really more of a deep clean just to get ready for our guests. Starting with the stove, I like to remove the grates and get them soaking in the sink. I use this Dawn Power Wash, which is really great for cutting through baked on grease, and then we'll use our favorite method, degreaser, to spray down the stovetop and get all this dirt and grime wiped away. I do tend to spray a couple times just to kind of make sure that it's nice and clean. This is definitely my deep clean, not something I do every day, but every few weeks it's good to make sure that the stovetop is nice and clean. We'll also take off the little burner caps and get those soaking as well as the little knobs from the stove. So here's my final wipe down. We'll get the stovetop nice and clean. While those stove grates are soaking in the sink, we can go ahead and start cleaning the oven itself. So I always like to start with my degreaser first, just to get any extra food or grease that is on the front of the oven. So we'll get that wiped off before we go in and clean the inside of the oven, and then we'll come back later with a stainless steel cleaner. So I had cleaned the inside of my oven a couple months ago, but I just needed to give it a good wipe down. So I just have a cloth with some warm water here, just kind of wiping down to get any of the extra food out. Next up, we will clean the outside of the oven with that stainless steel cleaner just to get it all polished and nice before we move on to the microwave to clean the inside and outside of that as well. We are just about halfway through the cleaning motivation for today. So now I ask you, what do you have on your to-do list? And is there anything that you can get up and get done and work alongside me? Hopefully I can provide some motivation for you to get things done too. I know I talk about it all the time, but this Scotchgard stainless steel cleaner is really my favorite way to clean the stainless steel appliances in my house. Using this with a little bit of paper towel just gets all the stainless steel cleaned and polished and removes any of the fingerprints that definitely accumulate over time. So we got our microwave and the back of the oven cleaned up, and now we can move over to the stove grates that have been soaking in the Dawn Power Wash over here in the sink. Also had the racks from inside my oven soaking in the sink with the soapy water as well, so we'll go ahead and get those wiped down, as well as all of the stove grate pieces so that we can get the oven and stove put back together. I find this method of using Dawn Power Wash and soaking the grates to get about 80% of the grease and grime off of the stove grates, but if any of you have any recommendations on how to get them 100% clean, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. I know we would all greatly appreciate it. So we're finishing up the last grate here, and then we'll go ahead and get the stove knobs cleaned up as well. And then I realized I hadn't cleaned the grate in the bottom of my sink for a while, so we went ahead and gave that a good clean too. All right, you guys, it's time for an embarrassing truth. Right around this point, I realized the bottom of this grate was way dirtier than I had realized. I didn't really realize how much food collected down here, and I'm embarrassed to say there was even a little bit of mold. So, this is just a reminder, if you have one of these grates to protect the bottom of your sink, go ahead and give it a deep clean, just like I did. So we got this cleaned out, and then I definitely wanted to bleach the bottom of my sink too, just to make sure everything was really clean and sanitary. And we'll go ahead and get a new sponge as well too, just since we did find a little bit of mold. So that's what our good friend soft scrub is for with bleach. So we'll go ahead and get this sink nice and clean and sanitized. After getting the sink all situated and taken care of, I moved on to wipe down the dishwasher as well. So again, going back to my favorite stainless steel cleaner, we'll get the front of the dishwasher wiped down, and I'd also like to show you one of my favorite little dishwasher additions just to help with any confusion around whether the dishwasher is clean or dirty. I'm a big fan, and it saves a lot of confusion and conversation in our household. So I'll be sure to link that down below if you'd like to pick one up for yourself too. Now we moved on to the refrigerator, and we'll get these doors all cleaned up, remove any fingerprints, and get them polished with our stainless steel cleaner. I was entering my second hour of kitchen cleaning at this point and starting to quickly realize I wasn't going to get to everything on my to-do list tonight, but we definitely gave the kitchen some well-deserved love and deep cleaning. And the next day I was able to get the bathrooms cleaned up and some vacuuming and mopping done as well. So just a reminder not to push yourself too far. Get whatever you can done, and every little bit counts. Time to get the top of our stove put back together, so I went ahead and dried off the grates and added those back to the stove top. Then I realized I forgot the little burner covers, so we got those dried off as well and tucked them back where they belong. We'll add back in the racks to the oven before we move on to our next project. I really wanted to wipe down all the cabinets just with a warm microfiber, especially the cabinets here above the stove where grease can build up from cooking. So we'll just get these cabinet door fronts wiped down. It's good to do this every few months just to prevent dust and grease from building up. finishing up wiping down the cabinets before we move over to the dining room. I really wanted to refresh the centerpiece that we had. It was left over from the weekend before when we were celebrating Kentucky Derby weekend. So I had some roses that were on their last leg that we can change out for my favorite kind of everyday faux florals. I have these little vases that I like to keep with seasonal flowers on our dining table, and these little springy summer picks that I have from Michael's. They're the perfect kind of neutral floral just for every day. So we'll go ahead and get our centerpiece refreshed and ready to go. All right, that's all for today. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. Hopefully you got a few things done on your to-do list too. See you next time. Bye!
Golden, I'll follow